There's some Wonder Woman news. Wonder Woman, as of yesterday, June the 27th, 2017, has grossed in $325,083,830, a worldwide gross of $660,883,830, which is pretty awesome. All right, and some other interesting stats for you guys to think about. In terms of World War I films, it is the #1 grossing domestic World War I film. In terms of superhero origin films, it is the 5th highest grossing superhero origin film. It is right behind right now Suicide Squad. I mean, just $20,000 behind Suicide Squad. Even less than 20,000 actually. Or yeah. So it's probably overtake Suicide Squad today. All right. So it's probably a higher grossing film than Suicide Squad. Not only Suicide Squad, but Iron Man and Man of Steel. That's a big achievement already. We don't know where it'll end up, but it's pretty interesting to see these things. Some other interesting stats for you guys to check out. As an action heroine movie, it is the #6 in the world behind the Star Wars and Hunger Game franchises. In terms of comic book adaptations and superhero movies, it is at place number 15 presently in terms of superhero films. Okay, in the DC Extended Universe, it is ranked at #3 at present, but that will change. And in terms of DC Comics, #5. In terms of showdown between Wonder Woman and Mockingjay, it is at #1 place. I'm not too sure what that means, but I guess that's another one of those Hunger Games stuff. Some other news about Wonder Woman. Zack Snyder shows the first ever photo of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. This comes from comicbook.com. Shout out to comicbook.com and Megan Peters, who covered it. And what's very interesting about this is, one, the credit to Zack Snyder for Gal Gadot being cast as Wonder Woman. But also, in addition to that, Zack Snyder actually has some photos of her. So this is it here. Let me blow it up a little bit so you guys can see. And here is Gal Gadot. This is the first ever photo of her that Zack ever took. And he saw that she would be Wonder Woman. Here she is as Wonder Woman, right over here. And then you have Wayne Manor, I think this is Wayne Manor again. This is in the winter, obviously. You have the cameras here, you have Trebo. This is the river, I guess. And I see he did some scribbling of what should take place here, which is very interesting. Finally, it's good that Geoff Johns and John Berg have said that the DCU has nothing to change about its characters. There have been criticisms that, Man of Steel wasn't Superman, that Batman v Superman was terrible, it was a horrible rendition of Superman, and even Batman, they're not anything like their comic book characters. Of course, that is kind of dying off now, but Geoff Johns and John Berg, they had this to say about it. So they said, Wonder Woman celebrated exactly who the character is, but looking at it, it's not like we should change everything to be hope and optimism, the executive explained. There's nothing to change. That's what these characters are. We already know Wonder Woman is about love and justice. We know Batman is about fear and justice, especially for criminals. We know Superman, it represents hope, okay? And if you didn't see that in those characters, then you probably just was watching some other movie. You wasn't watching the movie that I was watching. And I think a lot of people have been offended, especially DCEU fans, are very offended when people say that these movies are not hopeful. They may be film noirs, like I said in the other movie. They may be film noirs, but they are hopeful movies. Okay? Superman definitely was an extremely hopeful guy. He ended tragically, but he was very hopeful about mankind. He never gave up on them. For a moment he paused and gave up on them, just like Wonder Woman paused and gave up on mankind for a minute. It's not a big deal. But then he stuck to his guns and he came back and sacrificed his life for mankind. So, and there's an interesting thing about Superman, but I'll get into that much more because he's so layered and so wonderful as a character. I had to do a separate video on that. So I just wanted to share this updates with you guys, and I think the DCU's rolling on in the right direction. For those people who want sunshine coming out your ass, it ain't gonna happen with the DCEU. Okay, it's just not happening. The DCEU is a much more grounded set of movies. The DCEU is a set of movies which takes their superheroes and their characters, not necessarily, Batman's not a superhero, he's just a sort of crime-fighting sort of guy. It takes its heroes anyway seriously. I love that Zack Snyder's still posting up things for fans to talk and discuss about in the DCEU, even though he's out of the game right now. And I just want to say I like how the DCEU directors work. They work as a team. I hope David Ayer is being treated nicely. I hope we get a Suicide Squad 2. And I hope David Ayer is the director for that film, because I like what David Ayer brought to the table. So I'm hoping he will just continue to direct. I really hope Warner Brothers calls on to him, because he's gold, man. I love everything I've been seeing. Snyder, Jenkins, Ayer. I can't wait for Whedon to come in there, and you got James Wan, and you have Matt Reeves. I'm loving it. I'm loving everything. I'm eating up the DCEU like nobody's business. See, the thing about the DCEU for me is that you get different flavors with different directors, as well as you still get that fundamental, we take these characters seriously. You know, when I saw Logan, I thought they took the character of Logan seriously. There was some times when it was over dramatized, but for the most part, they took Logan seriously. Still isn't the Logan I'm looking for. Logan, he goes berserko mode. I mean, Wolverine goes berserko. Like, he goes really berserko, right? But I'll live with Logan on what we saw. And I like that Logan's not a superhero. He's an anti-hero. Batman's an anti-hero. No matter how much you think he's on the side of justice, his convention of doing things is very illegal to a high extent. But that's a story for another day. I'm going to go into detail about Superman in my next video, but I just wanted to say again, Tim Burton, what he did with Batman 1989 and Batman 1992, Batman Returns that is, set the tone for all of these DCEU movies we got now. And I think Warner Brothers should by now realize they need to keep a serious tone that separates them from Marvel. Marvel, they're about slapstick humor and stuff, and they more deal with fantasy. I think younger age groups, younger children can go see Marvel and stuff, and it's kind of have a certain format still. The DCEU has different varying formats. There is the same environment, but there's different directorial styles, and I like that. And I'm not saying that I hate Marvel, and it doesn't mean that I'm not going to go see Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm just saying that I appreciate the DCEU. I need the DCEU to keep on existing, because when I want mature themes and discussions and stuff, I need that. I have no problem going to the cinema and going and watching Spider-Man Homecoming, and I hope I get something for my value. I love Michael Keaton, so I would love to see him in that movie. But don't get it twisted. I am a DCEU fan first, before I'm any of the other fans. Didn't like Deadpool, okay? Didn't like what's that movie? I'm not a fan of movies that just have slapstick humor and it's just about humor. I know Guardians of the Galaxy was an exception because I kind of understood what the film was. It was wacky, it was over the top. I understood it. So I didn't have a problem with Guardians of the Galaxy, but I couldn't watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2-3 times. That was not happening. I watched it once, you know, and that's good enough for me. Wonder Woman, I've only seen once in the theater, but I'm gonna go back and watch it, guaranteed. And I want to go with my cousin and my brother and his family. So we're gonna go as a group and see Wonder Woman on IMAX. I want to see the IMAX experience with that thing. Yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say for now. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Leave your comments in the comment section below. If you want to leave a donation, just please simply message me. I'll tell you how to donate to my channel, how to donate to me, because I can't do it online. You guys have a great one.